What's up, folks? Good morning to you and welcome to another video. Today I want to talk about the optimal workout plan for beginners and how to find it. So in the strength and fitness worlds, people often like to debate the different methodologies of training. For example, what's the best training split? Is it push-pull legs or is it a full body split? Or which sport gets people the strongest? Is it CrossFit or powerlifting? Who's the most jacked, calisthenics athletes or gymnasts? What's the best exercise for the shoulders? Is it a compound lift like the overhead press or isolation like the lateral raise? What's the best science-based muscle growth routine? If you spend any amount of time on the fitness part of the internet, you'll have run across these conversations. And while there is nuance to be had in these questions and good lessons to be learned, in my opinion, the single most important fundamental truth that beginners need to take away is actually right on the surface, staring right at you. All of these modalities work if you just apply them consistently. Every single style of training works. If they didn't work, people wouldn't continue to do them. Max effort training works. Starting strength works. Grease the groove works. German volume training works. CrossFit style training works. Anyone who has done any of those sports or training splits or modalities consistently for years while learning along the way is drastically stronger and fitter than when they started. The key difference between intermediate or advanced athletes and beginner athletes is that the intermediate and advanced ones began a long time ago. It's not that they started off with extremely effective, customized, professional level programming. They got to work and kept on working. So just begin. That's the fastest way to progress. The optimal plan for a beginner is whatever plan that you can start right now and stick with long enough to develop the habit and fall in love with the rituals of the activity. Action breeds progress. Planning can help steer you along the way once you're in motion, but action is the only way to actually get closer. You don't get stronger from choosing a workout, you get stronger from actually doing a workout. No amount of planning or learning theory will ever get any results. Only when you combine that with action will it yield any results. So just take action today and then course correct once you're already in motion. Trap that beginners commonly fall into, and that I've fallen into myself several times, is getting into a cycle of endless search for optimization. It seems so seductive to discover a secret tip or trick that's going to elevate your game and bring you faster results. And I'm not saying that research is not worthwhile and that we shouldn't search to continually improve our routines and practices. However, if we believe that a true optimal routine is out there just waiting to be found, it can delude us into thinking that we should spend most of our time passively searching for new knowledge instead of actively putting that knowledge into practice. So when I'm researching what the best deadlift variations might be to develop the hamstrings, I need to ask myself, am I really growing from doing this activity, or am I just procrastinating? Or would I be better served by just taking a leap of faith, putting one of these variations into practice immediately, and then gathering experience directly? Because there's a point at which the pursuit of knowledge without action can start to take the place of the deep knowledge of experience. Knowing, but not doing, is not knowing at all. So you're not alone if you find yourself experiencing paralysis by analysis, where the endless search for the perfect answer replaces the act of actually putting in real work towards that answer. So when I find myself stuck in a cycle of indecision and self-doubt, I remind myself to just take the plunge and try something, no matter how small, today, and then learn from it. Then I'll be one step closer in real life instead of just hypothetically one step closer only in my mind. In the end, the best lessons are learned from experience, so the more time you spend actually training versus simply hearing about others' experiences of training, the more you'll progress in the long run, even including the numerous missteps and wrong turns along the way. So if you're a beginner at fitness or trying to get into a new physical practice, I'm going to leave you today with a practical call to action that you can apply to any new fitness activity or really any hobby at all that you just want to get started on. So whatever your fitness goal is, think for a few minutes about how much time on a weekly basis you would spend actually doing that activity. For example, will you run for 30 minutes 3 times a week? Will you spend your weekday evenings at the climbing gym for hours with your friends? Or will you go to a yoga class twice a week during lunchtimes? Whatever the answer is for you, imagine that today is the first day of your new activity and commit to spending that amount of time today. So if it was 30 minutes, that's your time limit for action today. So spend the first half of your time doing practical research related to the thing. This could be looking up exercise tutorials, researching gyms or studios near you, searching for a beginner's program online, or just asking a friend who already does that activity. Then with the second half of your time, take action. Ideally, this is literally doing the thing. So going for your first jog, or doing a few sets of push-ups at home, or following along with a yoga routine, or whatever it is. Some activities won't lend themselves to doing right now at home if you don't have access to weights or a pool or some specialized equipment. So instead, spend this time actually getting skin in the game. So this could be booking your first session, making concrete plans on your calendar so you're not going to skip it, paying for your first month's membership at a studio, or buying a pair of shoes if you don't have something to run in. And believe it or not, that's actually the hardest part. Getting started, summoning that activation energy required to try something that's new and out of your comfort zone is the hardest bit. And once you're in motion, you can start steering more closely to where you want to go. And over time, you'll have real experience that you'll be able to zero in on what brings you the most joy. And slowly, you'll learn what works better for you. But until you take action, you'll never get any closer to your goals. So thanks so much for watching. That's all for today. If you like this video, be sure to check out this one. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Get out there and get active.